Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Tipsy Talk. I am your host, Jack Thompson, and today we are going to start it off with a book. This is a show where I get a little bit buzzed at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I talk about things and review things that I have no place to talk about or to review. So today, to start it off, we're going to be talking about the book, Crushing It. Crushing It. It is by entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk. He is a marketing, I don't want to say guru because I know he hates the word guru, but it is a phenomenal book. It came out yesterday. And I read all 285 pages in less than 24 hours because it was that good. I don't know what I'm saying. The book Crushing It is, I would say, a sequel to his book Crush It. And the tagline goes, how great entrepreneurs build their business and influence and how you can too. So me, I'm a budding entrepreneur, so I thought I would read this book, eat it up, and analyze it, and just see what I can get from it. And I gotta tell you, and this of course is the most honest talk show on all of YouTube, I loved it. I thought it was a great book. I didn't read Crushing It. I did, however, I believe he has 5 books now. I did, however, start to read The Thank You Economy, and I gotta say, I found it a little bit dull. I'm sorry. Yeah, I actually have not finished The Thank You Economy, but needless to say, I read this book in less than a day. I was a little worried because some of you may know that my goal for the new year is to read a book a month, and I read my January book, and now it just happened that his book came out, is it February? Oh shit, it's not even February. Well, this is my February book. I thought it was February, but my bad. I was a little worried that I wasn't going to actually follow through on my goals and to read a book a month, because reading The Thank You Economy, I was a little concerned. But I read this book, I killed it, and I just want to give you my honest opinion about it. I really liked it because not only does it have Gary talking to you, and Gary loves to talk, as those who know about Gary understand this, but it allowed him to demonstrate the results of his first book, Crush It. And so in the book, he posts a lot of case studies of people who followed his advice from Crush It, how they implemented it in his business, and how they literally crushed it. So I thought, I like reading about and watching videos about how people, started their business and the goals and the tactics that they set and use to implement them. And so there was a lot of that in the book. So if you like that, you'll love this book. But I like how he laid out 8 concepts on how you can crush it in your business. And I want to see if I could read those to you real fast. I got to find them. Hold on. My God, where is it? Okay. So Gary lists out 8 concepts that you should follow when creating content, because that's what this book is about. It's about leveraging social media for your business, for your personal brand. It's about how anybody... I just lost my page. God damn it. And now I'm out. Hold on one second. So like I said, it's about how anybody could use social media to develop their personal brand. And it's 2018, people. Everyone should be trying. Everyone, according to Gary, should be using social media, especially the platforms YouTube and Instagram and Facebook the trifecta right there. Those are the three main ones you want to be using right now to put yourself out there. That's what it's about. Gary so humbly explains that he just does not care what people think about him. And I feel like that's an issue I had with people judging me about the content I was putting out. But you know what? Who gives a... So that's what the book's about. It's about being unapologetically yourself, putting the content out there that is true to you, and, you know, sticking with it. It's hard to stick with it, especially when you don't see the results at first. But as you read about the people who actually implemented Gary's strategy, if you stick it out, it does work. So let me read you those 8 concepts that I really liked. The first one was intent. Why are you doing what you're doing? People see through the bullshit, and they know if you have a ulterior motive to why you're engaging with them on social media. So your first thing should be intent, should be quality intent, and you want to give people value. That's the most important thing. All right. The second one is authenticity. Just being yourself. Like I said, being unapologetically yourself. And people like that. People resonate with people who, you know, are vulnerable and who put themselves out there, and not all this glitz and glam that we see on some socials. But that's why live video, especially if you're using Facebook, works, because people like, you know, the nuts and bolts of that stuff. Oh, I just ripped it! No! I just ripped the book. Damn it. Okay, passion. Passion goes with what I said about being consistent, I think, because it's hard. Putting out content and not having anybody interact with it is really hard. It's really discouraging. So if you have the passion behind you to keep you motivated along the way, it'll be easier for you to keep on putting that content out there. All right, next one. Patience. I literally just said that. I'm not even gonna go over it. It's not gonna come overnight, people. It's gonna take a while. Speed. This is kind of goes against everything that Gary says, and he'll admit as well in the book. But he says it in the first sentence. He's like, I love a good contradiction, but this isn't one. Patience is for the long term, speed is for the short term. So you gotta be hopping on trends and executing really fast. As soon as you see an opportunity, you gotta take it, but you gotta be ready to keep on that speed. You gotta be a marathon runner. You gotta be keeping on that speed for a long time in order to see exact results. And once you start getting those results, that speed is gonna pay dividends. I think that's what that means. And personally, I like this idea. Like, when I don't know what I'm saying, I just take a quick swig, and words start flowing to me. The next one is work. Gary has, if you watch any of Gary's content, he has a daily vlog on YouTube, but he preaches work. He does like something like 16 to like 20, no, I'm not going to say 20, but like 16 to like 18 hours a day. And people kind of give Gary shit because they're like, what about your family? What about sleep? And he says, fine, you could do that stuff. That stuff is important. Sleep is healthy for you. Spending time with your family is obviously important. But it's what you do with the time while you're awake. Are you playing video games, or are you watching NCIS for the 20th time? How many times have you seen The Office? Like, I've seen it twice personally. Gonna be honest with you, all the way through. I love The Office. But just what are you doing with the time that you have to execute? Like, really be conscious about that stuff. All right, we're working our way through, guys. We got it. I don't even know what I just said. Attention. That's the next one. Attention is, where are people going to? Are they at Instagram? Are they at Twitter, how could you use that? You got to be studying the trends. How can you use that to optimize your presence online? So you've got to be aware of where everybody is, and you got to be, along with speed, you got to be using people's attentions, reacting fast, and implementing your course of action onto those platforms. And so Gary originally started off with 7 steps, but he set a separate chapter for the most important one out of them all, and that is content. Even with those 7 that I just mentioned, without good content, you are done. There's no possible way that you, I mean, I guess there is a possible way if you just BS your way through it, but people want good content, and you got to provide it to them. Gary's a big fan of the phrase, oh my god, man. Gary is a big fan of the phrase, document, don't create, and that pretty much means to vlog, pretty much. No, but you don't have to, people often make the excuse that you have to be creative to put out stuff on social media, but you really don't. You just gotta start doing it. And so document don't create is about just like filming your everyday life, filming the ups and downs, the struggles, what you did right, what you did wrong, because people want to see that goes with authenticity. And so what you could do with that is you have one big staple piece, they call it a pillar piece. So say this video, for example, I made the video, now I can take the video, break it up into little, I just burped. You break it up into little bitty pieces. Those are separate videos. They can go on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I could make text from this, put it on my blog, jackthompson.space, and then I could take little phrases that really resonated from this video that stood out, and I could put it on Twitter. You can break pieces up and you can come up with 50 different pieces of content. So that's what that's all about. But content is king. That's the most important part, is coming up with good content and not being afraid to put yourself out there. He talks about fear and the different fears people have, and one of them is, fear of what other people think. Screw that. Just go for it. Which is easier said than done, obviously. But when you read this book, which I highly, highly, highly recommend, you realize that people that went for it, they became successful. They became successful in their own ways, in their own terms, saying, yeah, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but you really just gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta, attack life. Life it's short, but it's long. It's short in the aspect that, why not right now? Why not do what you want to be doing right now? But it's long in terms of, be patient. Let yourself develop. And then, he also gives tips per platform. So he goes over the different platforms, how you can implement them in your life. But yeah, that's it. It's starting to wear off, so I need to keep going. And this is not a biased opinion, obviously, but I really, really enjoyed this book, and I feel like it's one of those things that when I forget, how hard it is, or when I see the difficulties and the results that I don't want, I could see this being a book that I continue to read over and over again to inspire me to keep going, to keep pushing forward and going after my dreams. So if you haven't gotten it, I would highly recommend it, just to put it on your bookshelf to pull off when you need it the most. But that has been a Tipsy Talks review of Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Cheers.